Hey, welcome back for another episode of me talking. With a bit of a different background going on today. I'm at home in my partner's work from home office, so a little bit different to the typical roastery, but I don't have to wear a hat or anything. It's lovely. It's actually warm. So I wanted to talk today about a couple of points within building not just a white label brand. I think a lot of this could probably be transferred up to building any brand, be it in the coffee industry, be it white label, or you're starting your own very specific niche in a different industry. But I wanted to touch on a few things where people have been inquiring, and I think there's a lot of work that people can do before even inquiring. And I just want to talk about that a little bit. So the two things I want to touch on is target market and pricing. Now, both of these things I've touched on a little bit in previous videos, but they're both very important things to talk about, I think. So to give you an example, a lot of the inquiries that we get for white label coffee partners coming in, I would say about 50% of those will ask within the first few sentences about pricing. And pricing is probably one of the later things, well, it is one of the later things that you need to really be asking. Of those, say, 50% of inquiries that do ask about pricing within the first few sentences, they either don't talk about target market, don't have a real target market plan, or their target market is the average coffee drinker. And that's not a target market, that's 50% of the global population. So defining your target market should be one of the very first things that you do when building a brand in any industry for any sort of production, whether it's white label or you're producing and manufacturing yourself. Your target market is so important. And defining your target market can sometimes seem like quite a bit of a task. And you know, it is. To find your specific niche is very important. I generally would recommend to people, if you don't know what your target market is yet, but you've got an idea of the brand that you're wanting to build, get really, really, really specific to the point where you've got your first 10 customers planned out. And we're not talking like your mum will buy a bag of coffee and your couple of mates will buy some coffee. People that you don't know, plan out who they are and why are they going to purchase from you. That is the most important starting step. So have a think about your niche. So what is your niche? Is there a subculture, subcategory within that niche where you can define 10 people who are going to purchase your coffee? Now, defining those people, have a look at, you know, their age, what are their interests, where do they live, you know, what's their fucking name? Go and find them. You know, obviously don't reach out to them, but go onto Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Go and find 10 people who you think suit your target market and write them down. Write down their names, write down their interests, what they do for a living, and think about why are they going to purchase from you. Because once you've got that, you can then start to work backwards a little bit. And this is where it starts to get more interesting. So your 10 people that you've defined, they start to build your target market, your niche. And there's a really good example actually of a white label partner who's recently joined us, and they've got a brilliant specific niche and USP. So as an example, this white label partner have come on and their target market is within a specific sporting industry, but the people that they're targeting are another niche within this specific industry. So they've got a very, very small sort of target customer base, but that's perfect. That's exactly where you want to be. Because, you know, say if you've got, 50 people within this very specific subculture niche of the industry that you're targeting, you get 10% of that 50 people to purchase a bag of coffee from you. That's 5 people. And as we've said in a previous video, word of mouth is your greatest marketing asset. It will work wonders for you. So if you get those 5 people to purchase a bag of coffee, they'll tell other people that they're close to within this sub niche of the industry. I apologise, the cat's coming back and forth over there. They'll tell other people within this sub niche. They might end up buying a bag of coffee, and then all of a sudden, you've got 10 customers. You've got your first 10 customers then, and this is when you're established. You've got a footing. You've established a brand that could start doing more, because those 10 people can tell another 10 people, and so on and so on. And suddenly, your incredibly specific niche target market naturally becomes broader. So get down to the nitty gritty, find 10 exact people who fit a very, very specific target market, and let them do the work for you to naturally broaden it out. Because if anybody comes to me again saying a typical coffee drinker or everyday instant drinker who wants something a little bit better, or somebody who enjoys specialty coffee brewing, we're sort of at a point where we're getting so many inquiries, we're not even going to bother replying to you. I know that sounds harsh. We want to help people, but you need to help us help you. You know what I mean? But having these very specific target markets will also help you determine your price point. So the price that you need to be selling to them. Will also help you determine how much you need to be purchasing for. So from your supplier, be it white label coffee, be it manufacturing your own coffee, whatever you're doing, find a target market, work out how much they would pay for your product, and again, work it backwards. So you've got how much they will pay, you need to work out your margins that you want to create, and you can go to a supplier saying, look, this is my target market, this is how much they're going to be paying for the product, and this is how much margin I want to make, this is how much I want to be purchasing these products for. Now this starts to get into another area when we're talking about pricing, because especially, for us, taking Chip Coffee Co. as an example, the products that we sell are specialty grade coffees, so they're more expensive than your typical supermarket coffee or anything else. And some people, they see a price list from us and be like, can you do it cheaper? I'm like, nope, that's the price it is. There's a very good, very simple saying within manufacturing that is, good products aren't cheap and cheap products aren't good. It's quite simple, especially when you're talking about coffee, which is an agricultural product, or anything else, really. Now, there is a caveat to this. Sometimes your target market wants the cheap products. Sometimes they don't really give a shit about ethical sourcing, sustainability, traceability, or anything else, and they just want cheap product. That's fine. If that's your target market, that's what they want, that's what they want to pay for it, and you can still make a markup on it, then that's it. That's the way the world works. But you've sussed it out, you've thought about it, and you've realised who those people are and what they're willing to pay, and how much you can afford to purchase from your supplier for. And that's really, really important in building a sustainable business and a sustainable startup brand. You can have the best branding, images, illustrations, fucking insanely good website, but if you haven't got your target market and everything else planned out, I'm sorry, you're gonna fail. We've had so many white label partners come on board who haven't planned out enough and don't have things specific enough for their target market, and give it 6 months and they're gone, done, which is a shame, because a lot of people put a lot of time and sometimes money into these things, and without proper planning, you're destined to fail from the start. Think about it and plan everything down to the finest details that you can with your target market. It's very important. I hope this helps. I feel like it was a little bit of a rant thing. It's been on my mind for a little while, but I hope it has been helpful. And I'll see you for the next one.